Welcome to Life Technologies webcast. My name is Dr. Adrian Parton and I'll be your presenter today. Today I'm going to give you an overview of an exciting system that streamlines food pathogen detection workflows called the Pathatrix Auto. I'll provide information about how the system works and how it could benefit your lab, giving a few examples of how it has helped others. Before I start, however, let me tell you a little bit about Life Technologies. We're a science company. We believe in the power of science. We enable scientists with the best technology and the latest tools to make breakthrough discoveries that improve life. Life Technologies is a company made up of brands you'll probably recognize. The big ones like Invitrogen, Applied Biosystems, Molecular Probes, Ambient, Ion Torrent. Life Technologies is a global company with more than 1,500 scientists, more than 600,000 citations, 10,400 employees, more than 4,000 patents, and over 75,000 customers worldwide, and a total sales of $3.7 billion. In the food safety testing space, Life Technologies has been driving innovation in molecular testing for a number of years now. We apply our extensive technology and capabilities to enable faster, easier, more sensitive testing with higher throughput. With instruments and reagents provided by Life Technologies, such as the Ion Torrent Personal Genome Machine, we've enabled dramatic reduction in the time needed to identify and sequence outbreak strains. You may recall the German E.coli 0104 outbreak last year. It was Life Technologies working in conjunction with German scientists that provided the first sequence of that outbreak strain. We had specific real-time PCR assays available within a week of getting that sequence information. That's a good example of how our real-time PCR assay design and custom development capabilities work. Over the years, we've worked hard to improve food safety testing workflows. Improving the workflows with flexible real-time PCR instruments, sample prep advances that simplify the workflow and reduce hands-on time, highly specific and sensitive assays, software for easy presence-absence call. Today, I would like to talk to you about sample prep, often seen as the less sexy cousin of detection. For years, people have spent millions of dollars developing detection technologies, but sample prep has often been neglected. However, at Life Technologies, our R&D has focused on developing sample prep kits and instruments to address this very important part of the workflow. We know that all detection methods suffer from issues with food matrices that limit effectiveness, and that customers strive to improve the efficiency of the lab through faster sample prep methods. Recently, Life Technologies acquired Matrix Microscience, adding the Pathatrix Auto Instrument to sample prep options. The Pathatrix Auto System is the ultimate state-of-the-art, high-volume immunomagnetic separation method for pathogen detection. It is fully compatible with a wide range of detection technologies and is already being used by some of the world's largest food companies such as Mars, Cadbury, Barry Callebaut, Hershey's, FDA, USDA, and CFIA. Before I get into how the system works, let me explain why customers adopt the Pathatrix Auto System. Customers want to use the Pathatrix system because it reduces their costs, increases their confidence in their results, and saves them time. Many customers adopt the Pathatrix system because it concentrates and cleans up target bacteria by reducing background flora, false positives are reduced. And because it incorporates high volume washes, it gets rid of PCR inhibitors that can lead to indeterminate results in PCR workflows. Indeterminate results are painful to labs, as tests have to be rerun before the food can be released for sale, increasing storage costs. Because it accommodates such large volumes, the Pathatrix system is the only instrument available that enables the post-enrichment pooling of samples. This increases the sample throughput 5 to 10 times and reduces downstream detection costs by up to 90%. Because the Pathatrix Auto is fast and easy to use, and often reduce the need for secondary enrichment protocols, the system saves time and improves lab productivity. The Pathatrix system is fully compatible with a wide range of detection methodologies. The captured and concentrated and cleaned sample produced by Pathatrix system helps to ensure a more reliable and accurate result from your chosen detection method. The time to result is also reduced due to the concentration effect of the Pathatrix system. Simple linking protocols are available for all of the commonly used detection technologies, including agar plates, selective and chromogenic, colorimetric assays such as ELISA and lateral flow, PCR, real-time or conventional. Pathatrix is versatile enough for all types of sample matrices, from food, environmental and biothreat. Here are just a few of the examples of the different types of matrices that have been analyzed by customers, ranging from all sorts of raw meats, spices and nuts, juices, produce, dairy, a whole variety of different samples. This is an example of work we did with FDA and the FERN network, the Food Emergency Response Network. Initial work with FDA 9 to 10 years ago started with the challenge of helping them to develop custom assays for the detection of biothreat diseases, such as plague, brucella, and tularemia. Having successfully trialed the Pathatrix-based Yersinia plague method in 26 different FDA, USDA, and public health labs as part of the Food Emergency Response Network, the method became an official FERN method and has been implemented in over 45 labs in the FERN network. The E. coli 0157 spinach outbreak in 2006 was a very large nationwide recall of spinach due to the contamination of E. coli 0157. And there were greater than 130 cases of serious illnesses and 3 deaths associated with this outbreak. Initially, the labs were looking for the source. They couldn't identify the E. coli 0157 strain. They couldn't isolate it using the official FDA banned methods. As luck would have it, the Department of Health in California, one of the FERN labs that happened to be taking part in the plague trial, were testing produce using Pathatrix E. coli 0157 test and isolated it. They were able to trace it back to the supplier, Dole Foods, back to the farm, and even back to the field where the crop was harvested. And testing of soil samples led to the isolation of the identical strain found in clinical cases of the disease associated with the outbreak. In Arizona, the Department of Public Health, another FERN lab, was able to successfully isolate E. coli 0157 from the residual spinach that was retrieved from a patient's garbage that matched the same clinical isolate that caused the disease. FDA are currently doing interesting R&D on Pathatrix at College Park in Washington, looking at detection of salmonella in very challenging spices such as cloves, and have published data showing 2 logs gain in sensitivity over the existing ban method. Here's the list of all of the companies who currently have a Pathatrix Auto System, and labs often processing greater than 50 samples a day can benefit from using Pathatrix. Manufacturers such as Kraft Foods, external contract labs like Eurofins, government labs like CDC Atlanta, USDA, and as we've heard, the Fern labs, labs using culture, labs using immunoassay or PCR. Some of the early adopters of the technology have been in the chocolate and cocoa industry, leading suppliers of cocoa and chocolate powders to major brands around the world.
Today's complex food production chain demands efficient, dependable pathogen analysis. You may already know immunomagnetic separation can be used to concentrate and isolate pathogens, reducing total testing time and false positives. Now discover the Pathatrix Auto System that makes immunomagnetic separation faster, easier, and more accurate than ever before. For the first time, you can pool samples, increase sample throughput, and substantially reduce material and labor costs. With Pathatrix System, you just load your samples, attach the capture phase, insert your samples into the cartridge, and slide the cartridge into the machine. It really is that easy. But Pathatrix System isn't just simple, it's fast, accurate, and efficient. The only instrument that lets you pool samples for increased efficiency and decreased cost. With a universal system that can be set up ahead of any workflow. Pathatrix System addresses some of the most serious threats to the world's food supply, including Salmonella, Listeria, E.coli 0157, with protocols performance tested by the AOAC, on everything from meat and dairy to produce, spices, and more. And our results are trusted by some of the world's leading manufacturers and government agencies. Pathatrix System, the fast and easy way to improved food safety.
As we can see on this slide, we have a capture phase with two magnets, and we're flowing the sample backwards and forwards across the capture surfaces. Moving on, we can see that, of course, in a real-world sample, we have a lot of non-specific bacteria, sample debris, all of which is moving across the phase, but the target bacteria are captured by our antibody-coated beads located on the sloped edges of the phase. When we come to wash the sample, the wash step is very efficiently removing the food debris, particles, and inhibitors that may be present. It also removes the majority of non-target bacteria, leading to a very clean sample for pathogen detection. So to be able to elute the samples, the magnets are simply withdrawn, all of which is done automatically within the machine, and then the beads are released and eluted down into an elution tube to concentrate the beads ready for the next detection stage. Here's an example of where we were linking the Pathatrix system to a BACS PCR. And in this particular scenario, the problem was the customer was seeing many indeterminate results, up to 3 a day, delayed results to the customers due to additional analysis. The customers questioned the results, and on weekend working on a Saturday, extra shifts were needed. So they're actually working over a 12-hour period on a weekend on a Saturday. What we were able to do by implementing the Pathatrix solution in front of BACS was to minimize indeterminate results, actually eliminated them in many cases, reduce the time to result by up to 3 hours because we eliminate the need for a secondary step, growth step. We were also able to reduce using the pooling method the number of PCR runs to just 1 run per day, which when it came to weekend working on a Saturday meant that the laboratory workers were able to just do 1 Pathatrix run, 1 batch run, and leave by lunchtime, significantly reducing their working day. Pooling is a methodology that allows us to analyze multiple samples simultaneously. The way it works is we create 1 sample for Pathatrix and subsequently 1 sample for PCR. If you look at the slide, you have individual samples which can vary from 1 to 10. Again, a variety of sizes of samples from 25 grams to 375 grams or higher. Each of those samples is individually enriched, and that creates a post-enriched sample. So at this point, the sample integrity is maintained 100%. At this point, we go in and we take post-enrichment a sample of 5 mils, as shown in this figure, from each of the samples, and create a composite sample of 50 ml of pooled sample. That pooled sample is then run across 1 Pathatrix test, and then it's either run through to an agar or through to a PCR methodology. And if that sample, that composite sample, is actually shown to be negative, then you know that all 10 samples are actually negative. You have confidence in that result. If, however, it's positive, then you can immediately go back to those individual enrichments because they've remained 100% integral samples. Go back to those individual samples and retest them with 1 Pathatrix and 1 PCR. This allows you to rapidly screen a large number of samples in a very cost-effective manner. Here's a great example of where Pathatrix was used as a solution using Pathatrix 10 pooling to a plate, to a simple plating method. A laboratory was actually running 4 plates per sample on 250 samples a day. That's 1,000 plates that they were having to handle, prepare, QC, streak, incubate, read, and dispose of. So an awful lot of labor associated with the production of those plates and also with the disposal and QC of those plates. What we were able to do by implementing the Pathatrix solution linked to 10 pooling was reduce the number of plates processed every day from 1,000 to 100 plates per day. The laboratory in question was actually able to make a reduction in headcount of 2 staff as a result of implementing this, because handling that number of samples, the waste, the QC, the media prep, was such a labor-intensive process that implementing this technology has then allowed them to make those reductions. Normally, rapid methods are expensive, lack sensitivity, and can sometimes suffer from false positives. Pathatrix is actually the complete opposite. You can analyze a far greater number of sample sizes, such as 5,000 microliters versus 5 microliters for bags, increasing sensitivity, eliminating false positives. And with 10 pooling, you can cut the costs. They're a fraction of the current rapid methods. And it's a faster time to result as well. Sometimes we come across frequently asked questions about the system, such as, is the pooling accepted by regulatory bodies? Yes is the answer. We've put it through a number of approvals, AOAC approvals, international approvals, and we're looking to increase that range by looking at AFNOR approvals as well. So yes, regulatory bodies accept this, and large corporate customers have been using this methodology for many years with no evidence of any decrease in any sensitivity, which is the next question that people often ask. They often will say, well, if I pool my sample, I'm effectively diluting it. Will I lose sensitivity? Well, the answer is no. Because if you compare to many PCR methods that may use just a few microliters of the enrichment, actually with Pathatrix you're using, on a 10 pooling format, 5,000 microliters. So if you compare that to a method that might use 5 microliters, we're already taking 1,000 times more sample than the other alternative PCR method. So the sensitivity is actually increasing, not decreasing. And that's the beauty of the system. Also, people are sometimes concerned, if they implement the Pathatrix pooling, is it still cost effective if they get a positive result? Well, the answer to that is most customers have very low positive rates. Pathatrix pooling is certainly more suited to customers with rates of 5%, or the greater the cost savings and efficiency gains can be had from implementing the Pathatrix pooling strategy. So it certainly makes sense that Pathatrix can save money even if you have to retest, because the amount of times you may go back and retest could be once a month. It's a very, very low frequency, and then the cost saving is still very significant. Thank you for attending this webinar. We're confident that you'll see cleaner samples, fewer false positives, and improved efficiency in the lab. Thanks for attending again. If you want more information, please go to lifetechnologies.com/Pathatrix. Thank you.